This is our collab video on the Debbie Miller video about the lotus seed. Okay.
So she read the lotus seed to them, and I liked how they were just like super, I guess, interested in it. They just wanted to know like a lot more about it. I guess.
Yeah.
They had like a bunch of questions, and
I liked how she made a list of questions that they had before the book, and then the second day they like went over all the questions, and like it kind of got them thinking again of like the story and the questions they had before.
So it was cool because she like had those days or whatever, and then she thought it was just gonna be like a short kind of thing on the book, and then was able to plan like more days with it because they were so interested and just wanted to know more and had all these questions. And that part she said where she thought like everybody understood it because like as a whole they were all like, oh yeah, like we get it. And then a girl like wrote down that
like when
question.
She started conferring about what was it? Oh, why did the parents pick her husband?
Yeah. And so she was like, okay, well maybe not everybody understood it. So whenever she conferred with them, she really got the.
And I really like how one of her strategy instructions was to ask questions because it really, I feel like them questioning the reading and questioning themselves really makes them begin to really like think deep, like deeper than just reading a book and having like a short question and answer after the book. But it really lets them begin to think deep. And I like how she always brings it back to individual reading. Like, this is what we did today in a whole group. But
like, do this in your individual reading. Yeah. And she does the, like, she thinks that the social aspect is so important, which is really important, I think. So everything is, like, with a partner as a group or something like that. So them not doing everything so independently is really cool. Yeah. Because they do learn from each other. And she even said, like, us three sitting right here. Yeah. Like, we're learning just from each other.
Just from each other's conversation.
Yeah, just from talking.
Yeah, and I wrote this down, and then she said it at the very end, but I just thought, like, their thinking is so important to her. It's not, like, just, like, a task that she has. Like, okay, well, let's question and let me hear your thinking, but, like, she really goes into each day thinking, like, okay, what are they going to say today? Like, how are they going to think? And so it's a lot more important to her than just checking it off a list. And then at the end, the two girls overseeing it said, like, oh, we can tell that you really value their thinking. And she was like, I really do. I love hearing what they have to say. So I liked that.
Yeah. And, like, she keeps has some place to keep the questions safe and all that.
Yes. I loved that. Liked that. Yeah. She had, like, she let one of the boys laminate it so they could keep it safe. Then, like, a girl that had her note cards kept it in that box thing. I really loved that.
That was really cool. Because it makes them realize, like, okay, what I'm thinking isn't just empty thoughts. It's like, okay, this like really led me to somewhere, and she shows them like the importance of like how they created their thoughts, and like it really is important.
Yeah, and this is not just like a task they have to accomplish, like, okay, write down what questions you have. Yeah. But it's like, okay, these are important for me to keep.
And it's you created, like you thought that. So I didn't tell you to think that. You thought it, and it was important to this and led you somewhere else. Yeah. So I really like that.
And then what else? Oh, I love that they used graphic organizers a lot. And because it just teaches them that, like, to organize their thinking, but it's it in a way that they can go back, because you think about something and then you're like, okay, I'll never forget that. But then, like, even like 2 or 3 days later, you're like, wait, what? I see it, but I don't remember what I was thinking then. It's like with their graphic organizers, it gives them a chance to go back and see how they were thinking and what they were thinking.
Yeah, I agree. And then she kind of keeps those kind of things like all over the room, like those anchor charts. So with like those personal graphic organizers, she kind of has them like all over the room. Yeah, has those anchor charts too. So it's like a typical thing that they're used to doing.
And I've noticed in our other class, our psychosocial with Miss Lotta, how we were talking about those iMessages, and she was using those like with her thinking. Like, she would always say, like, I'm thinking this, or I'm noticing that.
That's one thing I really picked up on. Yeah. Because she always did that. Like, some kid will say something, and so she's like, okay, so I noticed that. And then she, like, repeats back to them what they said. Yeah. Kind of. So that was really cool. Who did iMessages? Not
Carl Rogers.
Carl Rogers, yeah. So he did the iMessages, which I thought was really cool.
And I don't know if you picked up on this, but when the kids, it was like group time for them to share their graphic order. There, she was like, "Hey, would you guys like to share?" And every single one of them answered like, "Yes, thank you." It's like it was cool that you could tell like she taught them that.
Yeah.
Like yes,
they know
like
how to
letting
answer.
yeah, like thank you for letting me.
Thank you for letting me. Yeah, give me the opportunity to share. Yeah, I like that. And like sharing to them is important. It's like it's just a safe environment that she's created.
Yeah, and it's a level of respect to like they
to
all
each
listen.
other.
Yeah, to each other
and to her too. So it's really cool that she just has created that whole culture for them.
And then at the end, I don't remember those two ladies that were doing it. It's not Gay Soup Nell. It's other people. But at the end, they asked her like how she handles like the slower kids. Like she like if you notice like some kids are like really getting it,
right?
And then the other kids aren't. Like, what do you do with that?
Like how do you handle them or group them?
And I've always wondered that because it's kind of like, inevitable that that's going to happen.
Yeah.
And she said that she lets them problem solve the way they want to. So if that's either in groups or alone or like however they writing it down or anything that they think that they're going to solve the problem, she lets them do it. But then when she sees the slower kids, she puts them all in a small group and really gives them explicit teaching. And like I didn't know if it was like okay to put this like all the slower kids in one.
Yeah, because typically you hear of like they'll be like with a partner with someone who knows their stuff, and then they can like help the other one, or they'll have like a small group of
like integrated.
Some kids that don't know and some kids that do, so they can teach each other. But yeah, I didn't know about what I thought about that either.
Yeah, but I like it because she said she only does it like not very often, but she'll put all of them in a group and like really give them the teaching that they need
and like the time and attention that they need. But I like the whole where she lets them like figure out like their way. So it's kind of like giving them a chance to see if they can do it. It's like how well they can do it, or find out like I can do this by myself, or I can try it by myself, or realize that they need a person.
Which brings back to the social thing.
Yeah. So it's cool because it's like you can try something on your own and see like, okay, well, I tried it and I really need some help. So then you get to figure out, okay, maybe I can do it with the person. And then two people are like, well, we tried it together. We tried it alone. We tried it together. It's not working out. Maybe we need to ask a friend or have a group and then the teacher. So I think that's cool because it's not like singling them out then. It's more like we tried it and we realized we need your help. So she's not saying like, hey, you kids. Yeah. She's not saying like you need help. They're like, they're realizing that they need the help. So that's really cool. I like that.
Okay. So if you could... what like was the main thing that you got out of Debbie? Oh, Deb.
Oh, Miller. Deborah. Really probably what I just said. That whole problem solving thing I think is really cool because she's just keeping their self-esteem kind of in mind, like their feelings about themselves, because if they already feel like they're behind, then
and their autonomy, like independence thing,
then they know. And so giving them that sense of just problem solving and letting them figure out that they need help, not that someone's telling them, hey, you need help, kind of thing, is really cool. And then like the iMessages thing too. Like we talked about that so much, I feel like, in Psychosocial. Not so much, but that's just what I get hooked to for some reason.
A lot of, like, at Riverfield and Rosa Parks, that's how they do a lot. Like, oh, I noticed, or I'm thinking that you could go this, like, do this instead of what you're doing.
Yeah, so I really like that she does those things. That's really cool.
Because then it's modeling her thinking. It's like it models her thinking so the kids get...
And the kids get to hear, like, if she's understanding what they're saying. Because if they're like... whatever, and then she's like, okay, so I noticed that you're feeling this way,
and they could,
they could yes, or it could be wrong. She could be wrong, and so they have to explain it again. So it's just showing them that she understands too. So it's pretty cool. I like that.
I think what I got out of it most was the questioning strategy, because I feel like that is what comes easiest to me, is a questioning strategy. And so like when she really, but she values their thinking, because a lot of the time with me, it's like, okay, we answered these like 5 questions. Like I asked these 5 questions, now let's move on. Like with her, it's very like on the fly, kind of like this kid's question will in turn like make her ask this question. Like, it's not like a planned thing. It's
Oh, okay. So she
goes
can,
off like what they're
yeah, and she can help like lead the conversation and like
Yeah.
guide it where it should go versus on what they're saying.
Yeah, and
So.
she said like she'll have like 2 or 3 questions like planned.
Mm-hmm.
She said most of the time they say it. It's like she doesn't even
Yeah.
have to say it, and so I thought that was
Yeah,
really
that
cool.
is really cool. Yeah, that old Deb.
Old
She's
Deb.
got her stuff down.
She's also sweet and like yes, yes,
Yes, I noticed that.
yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't finish this, but she said something like that's the beauty of it. Like when she was saying like value their thinking, she was like she said something like that's the beauty of like strategy instruction and guided reading and shared reading and all that. Like that the kids are such a big part of it that they become the owners of it.
Yeah.
And that's how they learn that. So I thought that was cool.
That was cool.
Anything else?
No.
No. Okay.
That was cool. I like that video. That
Me
was a
too.
good one.
That was one of my favorites.
Yeah, me too.
Okay.
Okay. Bye.